Many have been reported dead at Karu Bridge in Nyanya area of Abuja, Nigeria capital city, following a petrol tanker that allegedly failed brake, ramming into numbers of cars at the bridge that led to multiple vehicle explosions. Some of the eyewitnesses said that more than 40 vehicles exploded with the drivers and passengers inside the moving cars. A series of videos posted online by residents showed a large crowd of people at the scene of the accident, with black smoke billowing with continuous explosions. According to eyewitnesses, the multiple explosions occurred around 7 p.m. on Wednesday at the Karu Bridge at Nyanya area of Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, after a gas tanker failed brake, burst into flames, and engulfed several vehicles. Emergency responders including men of the Nigeria Police Force, FRSC, Army, firefighters among other security agencies were seen to have continued the rescue operations at night, most especially redirecting motorists plying the road to avoid the affected portion of the road. The exact figure of the total casualty is yet to be stated by the security operatives, which one of them told TVC News that it was too early to know the exact figure, with many of the rescued victims rushed to the hospital. The incident has caused severe gridlock along the axis, forcing many commuters to abandon their vehicles. Punch newspaper reported that the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative has confirmed that a brake failure was the primary factor behind the devastating bi-fueled petrol tanker accident that may have caused the death of many persons on Wednesday in Abuja. It also expressed sorrow over the accident, offering condolences to the families affected. A statement signed by the initiative stated that the organization was saddened by the loss of lives but urged the public to await the outcome of a comprehensive investigation to determine the exact cause of the accident. The Punch had earlier reported the explosion, which the FCT Emergency Management Department claimed to involve a CNG truck and other vehicles. It said the accident, which led to an explosion near Karu Bridge, happened at about 7:14 p.m. on Wednesday. The statement read, "The PCNG initiative is deeply saddened by the tragic accident on the Karu Bridge between Kubbo and Nyanya in the Federal Capital Territory. Our hearts go out to the victims, their families, and all those affected by this devastating incident. While initial reports suggest the involvement of a bi-fueled petrol tanker, we urge the public to await the outcome of a thorough investigation to ascertain the exact cause of the accident. Preliminary accounts indicate a possible brake system failure leading to the explosion of the petrol storage tank, but it is crucial to avoid speculation until all facts are established." The PCNGI also promised to work with relevant authorities to ensure that safety standards are upheld and incidents like this are prevented in the future. A commendation was also given to the FEMA, the Nigeria Police Force, and the National Emergency Management Agency for their swift response to the incident, limiting further casualties. The PCNG initiative remains committed to promoting the safe and sustainable use of CNG as a cleaner energy alternative. We will. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu aide, Nyesom Wike, who is the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, and the immediate past governor of Rivers State, that is widely believed to be the apparent root cause of the political crisis in the state, who, shortly after the swearing-in of Governor Siminalayi Fubara, Wike helped to the seat of power, was accused by the sitting governor, Siminalayi Fubara, of trying to use the State House of Assembly to frustrate and impeach him from office, simply because he, Fubara, refused to accept certain terms and conditions they both had in private, which, till now, both refused to tell the public. The apparent personal political misunderstandings that made the governor, Fubara, to resort to self-defense by thus applying some measures within his powers as the governor to frustrate and stop his impeachment from the probably instigated Rivers State House of Assembly lawmakers, whose majority of them, up to 27 members, are seemingly loyal to the FCT Minister, who, Wike, a few days ago, was the person that announced through the media to the general public that if an Ijaw son, Siminalayi Fubara, is impeached, nothing would happen, a statement he made, suggesting he may have conspired with the lawmakers to impeach the governor, because by his statements during the press conference, he was probably already doing damage control even when the House of Assembly has not served the governor. an impeachment notice, but, in the face of the foregoing facts, the Nigeria Minister of Justice and the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, at a press briefing a few hours ago at the State House in Abuja, exonerated the FCT Minister and said categorically that the FCT Minister has no hand in the political crisis that has engulfed the oil-rich Rivers State, leading to militants bombing crude oil pipelines to destroy Nigeria's economy, probably as a way of protesting against the federal government's seemingly one-sided style of handling misunderstandings in the state. Detailed statements of the Minister of Justice and the Attorney General of the Federation, as transcribed and reported by Channels Television, are presented verbatim below. At a media chat with State House correspondent in Abuja, the AGF said President Bola Tinubu acted timely with his proclamation of emergency rule in Rivers State, the suspension of the governor, and the appointment of a sole administration. Vice Admiral Ibok retired. Fagbemi said Fubara demolished the State House of Assembly complex to avoid being impeached and refused to rebuild it more than 1 year later. The Justice Minister said Fubara failed to implement the February 28, 2025 ruling of the Supreme Court and did not caution militants who had threatened to blow pipelines in the state. There was not a word dissuading the militant who issued the threats, he said. He said the situation could be allowed to continue as the critical economic lifeline of the nation was criminally touched. Fagbemi also said the emergency rule declaration was some sort of saving grace for Fubara, who has been served impeachment notice. If that impeachment had been allowed to take its full course, the governor would have entirely lost and completely. So, in a way, instead of allowing the impeachment to continue, and which in the end would have seen both the governor and the deputy governor out of office for the entirety of their two female lawmakers, Marie Ebekake, PDP, Bayelsa State, and Blessing Amadi, PDP, Rivers State on Wednesday engaged in a heated argument, almost leading to a fight at the National Assembly ahead of the plenary session scheduled by the National Assembly leadership to discuss, approve or reject the proclamation of state of emergency declared on Tuesday night by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu over the apparent personal political crisis between the state governor, Siminalayi Fubara, and Tinubu's aide, Nyesom Wike, the FCT Minister and the immediate past governor of the South State. Media reporters who witnessed the chaotic situation reported that the members of the House of Representatives engaged in the heated exchange of words as the Green Chamber prepared to debate the emergency rule in Rivers State. The two female lawmakers, Marie Ebekake, PDP, Bayelsa, and Blessing Amadi, PDP, Rivers, engaged in a shouting match on the constitutionality of the president's decision to declare a state of emergency in Rivers. This happened before the commencement of the plenary. It was gathered that he took the intervention of other lawmakers in the chamber to prevent the issue from snowballing into an uncontrollable situation. Meanwhile, in a statement released by the PDP Governors Forum chairman, Senator Bala Abdulkadir Mohammed, governor of Bauchi State, the group said that the People's Democratic Party Governors Forum, PDP-GF, notes with grave concern and utter misgiving the suspension of democratic rule in Rivers State by President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu in his nationwide broadcast of Tuesday the 18th of March 2025. We stand in solidarity with His Excellency, Governor Sir Siminalayi Fubara of Rivers State and the good people of Rivers State at this very difficult and trying moment of the state's political history. There is no other time that our philosophy of touch one, touch all is more apt than now. He who goes to the court of equity must go with clean hands. Mr. President, your silence on the active role played by your Minister of the FCT in the Rivers impasse is golden and enabling. He has become a law unto himself because he was playing out your script. Now we know, this is totally unstatemently, biased, and divisive. We state categorically that this unwarranted but premeditated attack on Rivers State and the People's Democratic Party and other opposition parties is today the greatest threat to democracy in our dear country, Nigeria, and it is an ill wind that will blow no one any good. It is a dangerous course of action that will not only endanger our hard-won democracy, but will exacerbate the crises in the nation, deepen mistrust, elevate security threats, destroy the economy, and our national cohesion and stability. The Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, in its response signed by its president, Mazi Afamozigwe, SAN, expressed grave concern about the purported suspension by the president of the governor of Rivers State, the deputy governor, and the members of the Rivers State House of Assembly. The NBA affirmed their commitment to upholding the Constitution, defending democratic governance, and ensuring that the rule of law prevails in Nigeria. In their words, a state of emergency
bringing you the news in a more digital way.